So the Ricoh GR4 is the newest in a cult line of cameras, and I totally get the hype around the Ricoh series. I love these cameras. They're the perfect example of a take everywhere point and shoot camera, but they are not always that simple when it comes to getting the best images possible out of this camera and getting it to shoot in the way that suits you. So in this video, we're going to walk through my settings for the Ricoh GR4, the way to get the most out of this camera in my opinion. I'm a professional photographer and videographer. I shoot photos for a living on traditional Sony Alpha systems. This is the way that I set up the Ricoh for the style of shooting that I have. Okay, number one, this is the setting which in my opinion you are just not getting the most out of the Ricoh GR4 camera system unless you are using it, and it is full snap focus mode. The GR series has had snap focus for a long time. Basically what it allows you to do is set a focusing distance that the camera will always remember and prioritize that focus distance almost over any other focus mode at the touch of a button, and it's insanely useful particularly for things like street photography or if you're doing anything relatively quick. It basically means that you can program it to 1 meter away, 2.5 meters away, 5 meters away, and it will nail focus within that distance almost every single time. Full press snap is a mode on top of this which allows you to use a standard autofocus mode whichever you would like, and then instead of half pressing on the shutter you just go for a full press on the shutter and it will automatically prioritize that snap focus distance. Super useful. So what we're going to do here is we'll go into menu, we'll go down to the literally the first focus mode. So you can use your focus on any of the traditional focus modes here. I personally like to use zone select. Then we want to scroll down and we're going to go to snap focus distance. This is the focus mode for the camera. So for instance, if you want it at 1 meter, 2 meters, I like to personally go around the 2 to 2.5 meters. I find that most useful for especially things like street photography. And then the setting down below it, the full press snap. This is where the magic happens in this mode. You're going to want that on and you can start using that full snap mode. The other almost essential thing that I would recommend changing on the Ricoh GR4 is the programming for the ND. The Ricoh GR4 does have an inbuilt ND filter, so this will cut the amount of light coming into the camera. Very useful on bright sunny days. However, it's a bit buried in the settings and there's no real good way of making this very nice and fast until you make this change. We're going to go into menu here. We're going to scroll down to the customization mode. We're going to go to the function button settings here, and I'm going to scroll right down to movie button. And this is quite interesting because I personally do not use the Ricoh GR4 to shoot almost any video, which means this button on the side, the movie button, is essentially free for programming. We can change this mode. If you personally use video on the GR4, obviously you might want to change this, tweak it, choose a different button which almost fits your shooting preference. But we're going to movie button and then we're going to change this to ND filter. As you can see now, when we're on our main screen here, we can press the button that will turn on ND auto. Personally, I would always have ND auto off, just in my opinion. You can go between standard ND and ND off. This gives you a one-touch ND button directly on the camera. Do me a favor, if you found that one useful, drop a like on this video, and if you have a better ND system for the Ricoh GR4, drop it in the comments down below. Okay, so let's talk image quality. I do the same that I do with the vast majority of my other cameras. I pretty much always shoot RAW and JPEG at the same time. This basically allows you to get the best out of both worlds. You guys know that I have a film emulation product. It's called Fake Film Club, and it basically allows you to replicate the film look on digital images. Because I use that, of course, I want to shoot RAW. It allows me to edit these photos after the fact, but if I'm wanting to share something quick, nice and speedily on social, I can just pull that JPEG straight from the camera. And probably an important thing to note as well, I'm sure that most of you will be aware of this on the camera, but one of my favorite things about the Ricoh GR4 is you actually have internal storage. You have about 50 gigabytes of internal storage. This is so useful. It allows you to capture about 1,000 raw photographs on the Ricoh GR4 without a card. Honestly, internal storage is just a game changer in my opinion for cameras. I absolutely love it. Of course, it's not something you want to rely on all the time, and I wouldn't actually be using it in my larger, more serious cameras for more serious jobs. Of course, you want a professional, very reliable card, probably something that you can back up straight away. But for the type of shooting and the type of camera that the Ricoh GR4 is, this is just a grab and go camera for me, and I love the fact that you can shoot internally. So it's always nice when a brand or product that I use on an everyday basis reach out to sponsor a video. So this video is brought to you by Clean My Mac. As you guys know, I am a professional photographer and videographer, so time on my machine literally costs me money. I've been using Clean My Mac now for years because over time, all those files, they add up, they bloat your machine, they slow it down, and Clean My Mac ensures that my Mac is working to its top capacity. One of my favorite tools inside Clean My Mac is called Space Lens. If you do any creative work, you know how heavy folders can get buried deep in your directories. A classic one is old caches taking up huge amounts of gigabytes of storage. Space Lens builds a visual map of your entire drive, highlighting the heaviest folders instantly so you can see exactly what's eating your storage without hunting for it. I also frequently use Smart Care. This is almost like an all-in-one scan to ensure your machine is performing to the maximum. It bundles all of the optimization essentials into this one sleek user interface. Give lots of different options for things you do, or you can just run this and it will, in one click, ensure your Mac is performing nice and speedily. I think that's what I love about Clean My Mac. It runs in the background, and for me personally, that means less time waiting for renders, faster edits, keeping clients happy, ultimately resulting in more revenue. The reviews speak for themselves too. Clean My Mac has over 3,000 reviews on Trustpilot with an average 4.7 rating, and Clean My Mac is an Apple notarized app. So if, like me, you don't want lag to interrupt your creative flow, you can use the code TOMRICH for 20% discount, and you can even get a 7-day free trial of Clean My Mac to test it out before you purchase. You can check out Clean My Mac using the top link in the description. Let's get back to the video. So let's talk about exposure modes on this camera. This might be a slightly hot take, but I actually don't shoot in manual very much on the Ricoh GR4. I find that actually the most usable option for me is aperture priority mode. Again, due to the nature of the camera, like I want speed with this camera really. So actually shooting manual tends to actually slow me down as opposed to just allowing myself to shoot as freely as possible. If I'm shooting in aperture priority mode in daylight, I'll shoot around about the kind of f5.6, f6 area, and that combined with snap focus means you just are going to nail focus almost every time within your snap focus range. A very useful little feature is the change on the Ricoh GR4 to bring back the exposure compensation rocker. Literally with the touch of a button, I can adjust that exposure compensation and go from brighter to darker shots, and the camera's working that out for you on the fly without you having to do anything. It's just a game changer in terms of speed. Probably the biggest consideration here is that those settings that I've talked about, like shooting aperture priority mode, as soon as the lighting is drastically different, so if you're shooting inside or if you're shooting maybe outside in a low light environment, you probably are going to want to change to a different mode. Either that or go straight down to f2.8. Personally, I like a bit more control over my lower light settings, so this is typically when I'll use manual because you just got much more going on in the frames. If you're shooting nighttime, you've probably got some artificial light in there that you don't want to dramatically overexpose, and lots of shadows that you don't want to dramatically underexpose. So having manual control when you are shooting lower light probably is useful. There are a few options here in terms of dial customization. Of course, you are going to be able to choose the style of shooting and the customization that actually matches your style of shooting. I actually know a couple of people that shoot with the Ricoh series, and they tend to switch the rockers so you can control your shutter speed with the dial on the top and the front of the camera. I've been shooting with Ricohs for a while. I'm quite used to the fact that the front ring is aperture, the back ring is shutter speed, but plenty of people do actually like to switch those, so that might be a setting you are wanting to explore. Another really useful feature that it actually took me a while to discover is that the back button here is also pressure sensitive, so you can touch this in and this actually gives you a couple of options. So one hit in gives you raw JPEG and raw plus control, but you can press it in and slide over, you get metering control, focus selects, aspect ratio control. There's a lot of customizations that once you get used to shooting with this camera, that mode can really help you choose and select your settings very quickly on the fly. Just a couple of touchscreen recommendations. If you go into your settings, scroll right down to the bottom, then we're going to go into customize controls here, scroll right down to the bottom here. This is where you can turn on and off touch operation on the camera, and this is quite a useful feature for some people, but some people absolutely want to turn it off. I personally tend to leave my touch operation on because it is useful in my opinion to be able to set focus or change the focus area depending on what you're shooting. Of course, you want to go into the touch AF here and change the mode. I I personally, again, leave it on AF point because I don't want it to focus. If you want to be able to move and select and actually change the focus area, you can use that as point plus focus. You could change it to full press snap mode here if you want as well. I personally, again, leave it on the AF point. Personally, I wouldn't ever touch the AF focus plus shoot. Just do the shooting with the shutter button. There are a couple of useful settings in the display settings section. So we're going to go down to menu. We're going to go down to the customization panel again. We're going to go to shooting info display here. This is basically giving you a screen on what information is displayed in which display mode. You can see the different display modes are at the top. It's a bit of a confusing display, but that is roughly what it's showing you. The ones that you might find useful are a grid, standard grid. This will give you a 3x3 grid on the page. Just hit the adjust button to select them here. I personally really like the electronic level. This basically gives you a guide to see whether your shot is, or your horizon is level here. You can see this at the bottom. It'll go green when you're horizontal. And then one which I do recommend toggling on is the histogram. So you just scroll this down, toggle that on here, and it just gives you a quick view on whether your shot is clipping or not. Very, very useful. Next, we come to focusing, which obviously is almost like the meat and potatoes of the camera. Because the Ricoh is so intrinsically tied to snap, a lot of people are getting this for its speed, its ease of use, and its ability to nail focus once you get good with the camera almost every single time. I've already talked about me using zone autofocus. I do personally find this really, really useful. The other mode I go between is the pinpoint focus. So if we go into the settings again, we go into focus, we can scroll down here and you can see pinpoint AF. This basically gives you a single dot. It's a very, very useful system. Again, you combine that with the touch autofocus on the screen. It basically allows you to change your focus mode, change your focus location so quickly to a specific area, and then you have full snap autofocus on as a backup. It allows you to nail focus pretty much every single time with this camera. Another change just for speed is I've changed the function button on the camera to be the snap distance selector. When I am out and about, if I am shooting something specifically which needs a closer snap distance focus or a longer snap distance focus, I can control that at the touch of one button and you just remap that in the settings. I personally have mapped this, like I say, to the function button. Next up, just a couple of quick fixes, things which I do recommend changing on the camera. First off is instant review. This basically, when you take a shot, it will show you the shot afterwards. This typically isn't a way that any other camera system works, and it's just something which I'm totally not used to and don't recommend. So just go into the menu settings, instant review here, just in the third panel on the camera setting. We'll go instant review and just turn it off here, just like that. Obviously, I haven't talked about the color modes on the Ricoh GR4. That is because I typically just don't use them. Obviously, you guys might have a totally different experience. And if you are shooting in those JPEG and RAW modes, you will find some recipes that you absolutely love with this camera, I'm sure. Personally, I shoot JPEG and RAW. JPEG, I'm generally getting something relatively real straight out of camera, and then I'm using those RAW files to edit the photos using my Fake Film Club system to actually get a look which I like every single time. If you are looking for color modes, I recommend going out and looking at some other videos because there are tons on the Ricoh GR system.